short video will cover a simple method on finding variation and standard deviation for statistical data. The standard deviation of a set of sample values denoted by a lowercase italicized s is a measure of how much data values deviate away from the mean. Here you'll see the formula on standard deviation. As you can see, it'll involve squaring, subtraction, addition, and division. Simply put, you have your sigma symbol in x values, your mean, and the n, which is your denominator, representing the number of data values. Looks intimidating, I know. Some important properties to take note of in standard deviation are the value is usually positive. Larger values of standard deviation indicate greater amount of variation. The value of standard deviation can increase dramatically with inclusion of one or more outliers or data values far away from all other data values. Variation. We will also calculate for the variation of variance. The variance of a set of values is a measure of variation equal to the square of the standard deviation. There are actually three measures of variation: range, standard deviation, and variance. We will only be working with two video. We have a 6-step formula calculation we will be working with for our problem. Step 1, we will find the mean. Step 2, we'll subtract the mean from each sample value. For our problem we'll be working with, we'll have 4 sample values. Step 3 is square each of the deviations from step 2. Step 4, add all of the squares from step 3. Step 5 is divide the total number from step 4 by n, your number of data values, minus 1. And as I told you, we're working with 4 data values. So you subtract 1 from that gives you 3. In step 6, finally, you'll find the square root of the result of step 5, and the result is your standard deviation. For our problem, we'll calculate using the sample values of apples. As you can see, we have 4 sample values, 4 buckets of apples, 14, 18, 18, and 16. As you can see, 2 of the data values are the same, and we will treat them separate for this problem. Step 1, as you can see, I already worked the problems out for you, and I just simply added all of the data values and divided them by the total number of data values, which we have 4. And as you can see, 16.5 is your mean. In step 2, we'll simply take 16.5 and you'll subtract it from each data value. And as you can see, remember I told you the standard deviation is usually always positive. But when you're working a 6-step formula, you will commonly work with negative numbers in your step 2. So 14 minus 16.5 will give you negative 2.5 and so forth on down the line. Step 3, we'll take each of those values in step 2 and we'll square them. And you can take a moment, use your calculator, and go ahead and square a few of those to make sure you come up with the right answer. And another option you can have is you can also use an Excel spreadsheet. If you're great with formulas in Excel, you can use that to work out your problems to find your standard deviation. Step 4, we're going to take each of the squared values in step 3, and we're going to add all of them together, which gives us a total of 11. And in step 5, you'll find your variance. You'll take the total from step 4, which is 11, and remember, you divide that by n minus 1, the data value, minus 1, which gives us 3, and 3.6667 is your variance, which leads us to step 6, and your standard deviation is 3.6667 enclosed in the square bracket. And square that, and it gives you 1.9149 apples. Apples represent the units that we were working with. Just like simple mathematical word problems, you have to add on your units. This was real simple. Now you give it a try.